Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is July 21st, 2023. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage made-for-TV attacks, bombings, or terror events or foreign invasions during the live broadcast of the Lionel Messi football game and the World Cup. So basically what's going on is Lionel Messi just signed with Miami Inter, where David Beckham, the former British soccer star, currently works. And they basically lured him from Europe to Miami, and he's playing in a game today. It's Cruz Azul versus Inter Miami in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is right next to Palm Beach, where Donald J. Trump lives. And a couple of his co-stars from Barcelona, came over and signed with this team. So basically you have a European football team in the United States. And when Lionel Messi was introduced by David Beckham and the owner of the team, the live stream reportedly had 3.2 billion views. So this is getting more views than the Super Bowl. And the reason why I mention this is because I got on the CIA's map back in 2011 when I published the Nuclear Bible, which exposed a false flag nuclear attack targeting the Super Bowl. So basically, the CIA stages a number of these live events specifically to stage a major false flag. So today, it's like 2 o'clock, it starts at this evening, New York Standard Time. You're going to have the World Cup, which is the 2023 Women's World Cup live being broadcast from Australia and New Zealand, and then you're going to have this Messi game for Inter Miami, and so we're looking at potentially upwards of 2, 3, 4, or 5 billion people watching the television, and so it's imperative to note that the CIA is going to seize upon this opportunity to stage a major watershed moment, earth-changing event during this live broadcast. So obviously, exactly what is planned is obviously not known, but I'm going to detail the most likely scenarios in this video so that if in fact the CIA decides to execute them, there will be some sort of a record as to who is responsible. So the most likely events, and not in this particular order, are an asteroid or comet strike, a nuclear terror attack, a chemical attack, a biological outbreak, another pandemic, possibly, a radiological event, a cyber attack, a solar storm, or a blackout event, possibly under the guise of climate change. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of a direct energy weapon-related attack targeting Miami. This is what's called Havana Syndrome. Russia allegedly has a secret weapon in Cuba. And there's also the realistic possibility that the CIA is going to stage a coup d'etat targeting a major capital, possibly Havana, Cuba, Washington, D.C., London, England, Moscow, Russia, Tel Aviv, Israel, or Tehran, Iran. So some sort of a coup. They staged storming attacks targeting the U.S. Capitol, the Brazilian capital, and then on June 23rd, you had this Wagner paramilitary group en route to Moscow to stage a coup in Russia. So they've set the scene for some sort of major coup d'etat designed to trigger World War III. And before I continue, I should note that the goal of this major event is to do one of two things: to spawn a second global biological pandemic so that it can wipe out billions of people on the planet, or to trigger World War III. There's also the high possibility that the CIA is going to stage some sort of event while the world is watching to demonize Donald J. Trump, the Republican Party, or America in general, possibly featuring a heinous race war attack. So we have the CIA operative Jason Aldean. He was the one whose concert was allegedly shot up in Las Vegas, Nevada a few years ago, and he just came out with this song that people are saying is about lynching. And so basically we can expect some sort of a race war attack, possibly some sort of lynching or dragging or ramming attack targeting African Americans in the aftermath of this song. There's also the possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of an event in Chicago. There was just a mass shooting at a construction site in New Zealand right before the World Cup, a blood sacrifice, and coincidentally a noose was found at a construction site where they're building the new Obama Presidential Library in Chicago. So some sort of a storming or occupation or siege event may be in order. There's also the high possibility the CIA will say some sort of an LGBT trans-related attack. I should also mention that a beautiful African-American girl named Carly Russell disappeared, so it's highly likely that they'll say that she was kidnapped by KKK or neo-Nazis or Trump supporters. Coincidentally, Nike is releasing the Jordan Retro shoe today, a high top, I believe, and so the CIA may stage some sort of Foot Locker like smash and grab riot attacks, and then have operatives go out there and shoot these rioters dead on the street to try to spark a race war in America. There's also the high possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of a major quote-unquote natural disaster. So I just published a report on tectonic weapons. You can check it out at 911truther.org. But the CIA may stage some sort of a man-made earthquake attack, tsunami attack, volcanic eruption, forest fire, most likely via drone strikes, tornado attacks, flooding attacks, possibly in the aftermath of a dam break. This is also a high possibility, is that the CIA is going to stage a Joe Biden resignation. So the FBI just released a document yesterday called FD-1023, basically corroborating the notion that Joe Biden is guilty of bribery or engaged in a high-level bribery scheme involving his son, Hunter Biden. So a Biden resignation, assassination, death event, or hospitalization event, medical emergency is expected during the live broadcast of the aforementioned sporting events. There's also the possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of an event targeting Donald Trump. So this may be a leak, deep fake video, nude photos, whistleblower revelation, something to do with his presidency or the false flag attack on the U.S. Capitol, his tax returns. I mean, there's hundreds of possibilities, but some major event to neutralize Donald Trump is expected. There's also the high possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of an event in Moscow targeting Vladimir Putin, possibly a suicide, a resignation, an arrest, an assassination. But the CIA, Putin is refusing. This is my take. Putin is refusing to fully invade Ukraine in order to draw in NATO, and so they have to neutralize him. And then there's also the high possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of an event targeting Pope Francis to try to terrorize the people of planet Earth. It's also highly likely that the CIA will stage some sort of major attacker invasion by a nation state, which may be false flag in nature. So we have Russia, possibly a false flag targeting Poland or Ukraine, China, Taiwan, targeting Taiwan, Iran, possibly targeting the U.S. fleet. So the CIA just ordered a fleet to the Middle East to counter Iran. This consists of the USS Bantam, the USS Mesa Verde, the USS Thomas Hunter, and the USS Carter Hall. And so those ships are going or are en route to Iran to counter Iran. I don't know if it's in the Mediterranean or if it's in the Red Sea or the Persian Gulf, but some sort of false flag attack, most likely executed by the Israeli military. So they're the ones that back in 1967, I believe, they executed what's called the attack on the U.S. Liberty. And this is basically where Israeli planes for hours attacked the USS Liberty and tried to sink it. So some sort of a backstab by the Israeli military is expected. Most likely under the guise of an Iranian attack. There's also a possibility the CIA will stage some sort of Kim Jong-un rocket or nuclear attack, possibly an EMP attack, possibly targeting South Korea, and a Pakistani terror attack, possibly nuclear in nature targeting India, or a Saudi Arabia terror attack targeting the United States or Israel. And in the event that the CIA goes to their bread and butter, which is Islamic terrorism, they will most likely claim that it's an attack by Al-Qaeda, ISIS, ISIS-K, the Taliban, AQAP, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Haqqani Network of Pakistan, or the Coast Protection Force of Afghanistan. In the event that the CIA stages a Islamic terror attack, it will most likely be chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature, and it may target Ukraine, where we have the ongoing Russo-Ukrainian war, Sudan, where we have an ongoing civil war, in Yemen, where we have an ongoing civil war between the Houthis and the Tutsis, I think, or maybe that's in Africa, I'm not sure. Anyways, and then we have in Iraq, we have all these riots over the Swedish embassy, who I believe, if memory serves, published something offensive about Muhammad or the Quran. And so some sort of major event targeting Baghdad may be in order, possibly targeting the Green Zone, which Matt Damon made a movie entitled. And then the CIA may go back to Cuba, and that may be Chinese. They just built a base there, allegedly, and then you have the Russian-Cuban Missile Crisis with Russia. So that may also be in order. Last but not least, in the event that the CIA is unwilling or unable to stage a CBRN event, a foreign attack or invasion, or a natural disaster, or a dissolution of presidency event targeting a head of state, it's highly likely that they would assassinate some sort of major celebrity. We just had Tony Bennett die, and so they always do these celebrity killings, blood sacrifices in clusters, and so some sort of high-level, Kobe Bryant-level blood sacrifice, possibly targeting the royal family, people like John Jones, Tom Brady, Taylor Swift, Donald Trump, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Dwayne Johnson, Conor McGregor. And that is because the 21st is a Jewish holiday called Shabbat Chazan. And I don't know what goes on that holiday, but I do know that historically speaking, if we go back and we look at all these blood sacrifices of famous people, we just, coincidentally, they just happen to fall on Jewish holidays. So anyways, I'm praying for a peaceful evening. It should be a great game with Messi in Miami. It's a good thing for soccer in America, and so it's good for the world in general. Because we're becoming more and more unified through the internet and the ability to watch these events. And so that's why, obviously, that the CIA would seize upon this and try to stage some sort of a terror event, or a nuclear, biological, chemical, radiological event, or some sort of terror event to terrorize humanity. And so obviously that cannot be allowed to happen. So in the event that these the aforementioned events come to fruition in any form or fashion, I kindly ask that you download this video or share the link with local, state, or federal law enforcement, police, intelligence, and military officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.